Hey guys, so for this movie review, I'm going to talk about the latest version of The Great Gatsby. It's the version directed by Baz Luhrmann. It just came out to the theater. Saw it the weekend that it came out. Um, so in this film, you guys, if you don't know what Great Gatsby's about, well, first off, it's a novel written by F. Scott Fitzgerald, who also wrote The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, which also got turned into a big movie. Um, and there's been several different versions of Great Gatsby. There's been one with Paul Rudd. There's one with Robert Redford. There's I think a silent film version from way back in the day, from like the 20s and 30s. So I think there's even a BBC version. There's just a ton of Great Gatsby versions, Great Gatsby films. Um, but Baz Luhrmann, who did Moulin Rouge and the modernized version of Romeo and Juliet, directed this film. Um, so, Great Gatsby, you guys, it's a story where a man who works for Wall Street moves into this small house that's in this neighborhood that's full of these really rich and wealthy people who live in these huge mansions. And he's one of the unlucky few in the neighborhood that has one of the smaller homes. But he gets to learn more about this man named Jay Gatsby, who's his neighbor. He's always throwing these huge block parties. He's kind of mysterious. Not a lot of people even talk to him at these parties. He just kind of throws them, and almost everybody's invited to them. And without, this is obviously going to be a non-spoiler review, so no spoilers in this review. Um, but basically, like I said, without me spoiling anything, um, you'll find out later on that he's throwing all these parties for a reason. There's also a reason kind of why he likes to stay in the shadows and not really interact with a lot of people at these parties. Um, so this man played by Tobey Maguire, whose his name is Nick Carraway in the film. Like I said, he's the neighbor that lives next to Gatsby in the smaller house, and so he's just trying to kind of figure out who this guy is. He finds out that he's this war veteran and that uh, he's had relations with people who are also millionaires, and that he started out kind of this really dirt poor situation with his parents, and then he almost kind of had to work his way into being wealthy. Um, so he's had both a very bumpy and a very intriguing life because he started off poor and became richer and richer as time went on. He's did a lot of stuff for the military. Um, but basically, Gatsby's life makes an interesting and an intriguing turn um, when he finds out that this woman that he's fallen in love with, um, back when he was a war veteran, he finds out that she doesn't live too far away from him, and that he really wants to win her back, even though she's married now. Almost kind of forgot about this relationship they had. And so basically, he has to run into the problems of, how do I be with her while she's married? Do I have to make sure that, that she gets a divorce from this guy? Because I know she just absolutely has to love me still from all the stuff we used to do. And this would really, yeah, I'm not going to mention that, but yeah, there's something that happens eventually that really turns the film on its head. It's not really a twist, but it definitely challenges Gatsby to his limits, um, and makes him question if him and this girl really are these sane um, people who really should be doing what they're doing, and would it really be right if they moved out and um, try to pursue this life outside of the lives they already have, and that kind of thing. So Great Gatsby, you guys, I really enjoyed the film. Very visually good. You can definitely tell Baz Luhrmann, who was behind Moulin Rouge, is a part of this film. The man really likes gold, silver, yellow, and red in his films because they just pop out beautifully. I don't know what he does, but he saturates the film cell so much that it just blurs out at you, and you don't even need 3D glasses. It just really colorful film that he's made here. Um, so let's get to the positives and negatives, you guys. So first off, I love the visuals of this film. I don't think I could have asked for a more visually beautiful Great Gatsby film. I mean, the visuals in this film are so good. The visuals stand out. They're just, like I said, all the colors just pop out at you, and Visually, I have no complaints about this film. It was intriguing and entertaining throughout. I was entertained throughout the whole movie. I never really felt bored. And I really hope that people who go see this film never don't feel bored at all throughout the film either. Um, Leo DiCaprio's Jay Gatsby performance was very good in this. Um, some are even thinking that he might even be nominated for an Oscar by the end of this year, which I would have no problem with, at least as of now. There's obviously going to be much more films coming out since that happens, um, but yeah, as of now, I mean, I think he really blew it out of the ballpark and really gave us a really great performance in this film. Like I was saying earlier, the reds, reds, yellows, golds, and silvers, all those color tones in this film really stand out. Like I said, it must have been a saturation technique because it really, really stood out at you throughout the film, and it was really beautiful to look at. Um, this was a well-made love tragedy, you guys. Like if kind of like Romeo and Juliet, kind of like these big love stories where something really tragic happens at the end. This film really did that very well. I thought it definitely kind of established what a love tragedy is and kind of what a well-made love tragedy should look like, kind of thing. I liked how Jay Gatsby was very mysterious in this film. I liked that he hid behind a curtain a lot. He kind of hid away from people when he didn't want to be seen. He kind of limited the people who he interacted with. How Baz Luhrmann handled it, I thought was very interesting and very unique. There was even some scenes in this film where like he would pretend to be like a statue looking at something, and kind of look like he's blending into this environment that he's observing. Just really unique to what he did with this character. Um, I'm pretty sure this is in the book. But in the film, they have this green light that he's always looking out at, and there's a pair of yellow eyes on like this blue billboard out in this town that that Jay Gatsby and Nick Carraway are always driving by in the film, and they have very big symbolic um, references. They're definitely more than just things that apply to this story. The eyes specifically are big symbolism at one point in the film. And even the green light represents a lot of things in the film too. The one that he sees from a faraway distance from his back porch that what Jay Gatsby sees. Um, and yeah, like I said, guys, a very well done film. Like I said, the symbolism was very good in this. I really like the symbolism that this film had. Um, for negatives, I thought the ending was a little unusual, specifically in the first half. Um, Around the scenes where we're just getting to know Jay Gatsby, even the scenes before we really get to know him, there was just some really unusual editing. I don't know if it's just that the discussions weren't that interesting, and so that Baz Luhrmann had to cut them out because, like maybe the early screenings, people were complaining about them. I don't know if that was the case, but yeah, there was just some like really unusual editing. Like certain dialogue was even cut out at some spots. So yeah, I don't know the reasoning behind all that, but even if the conversation was a little boring, maybe just make it a little bit briefer, or maybe yeah, I don't know what he could have done, but like the way he edited it was not very good. Um, and that was mostly in the first half. Second half, this really wasn't a problem, but there was a lot of conversations, specifically ones that were intended to go on for a long time, that were edited very unusually. Just very unusual editing for those, I thought. Um, even though the film is intriguing and entertaining the whole time you watch it, there are some moments that are a little slow moving, and specifically when um, Tobey Maguire is trying to figure out kind of what this place is like that he just moved into. The scenes, where Jay Gatsby's not even in the story yet. Um, there's I think there was a scene in Vegas or something where it really dragged on for a really long time, and it almost could have played out like a deleted scene from a Blu-ray. So yeah, like I said, there's just some occasional moving moments in this film. I think that really could have been worked on. Um, this next thing is a little bit up for debate, but this is just kind of how I feel as of right now and how I think I'm going to view this film from a long time from now. I don't think the the replay value in this film is going to be that great. Meaning, like let's say I bought this on DVD or Blu-ray, I really can't see myself watching this film more than twice a year for some reason. I don't know, like it's a great film. Definitely see it once for sure. I don't know. Like I said, I just don't know how many more times I could watch it without being really bored with it after a while. Um, so yeah, replay value wise, it's definitely not a film that I see myself watching numerous times throughout the year. Definitely not that kind of film. I also felt that The Curious Case of Benjamin Button was an overall better film. I like David Fincher. I think David Fincher, though Baz Luhrmann's visuals in this were top notch. Um, I think this Benjamin Button, since it was the reason why I say that film is because that's also based off an F. Scott Fitzgerald story. I think the storyline was a little bit better, more interesting. Um, it was just a more intriguing film, I guess. But yeah, I don't want that to scare you away from this new Great Gatsby film. I'm just saying, as far as F. Scott Fitzgerald's stories going to the big screen, I think Benjamin Button, I think it's an overall little bit of a better film. Um, Also, this film had some weird sound mixing, specifically in scenes where they're trying to take new music from Jay Z and mix it in with like older music, like jazz music. There's a scene where Tobey Maguire was like at this drinking party at this apartment somewhere, and like I said, this is even before Jay Gatsby even got involved in the storyline. Um, yeah, it had some really weird sound mixing. It's not that the music was bad; it's just like, wow, why would they mix this with this in the sound mixing room? It just didn't make a lot of sense to me. But overall, guys, I give the film an 8.5 out of 10. It definitely is at least worth seeing once. Like I said, I don't know how many more times I could view the film a lot more. I don't know. Like I said, I couldn't see myself viewing this film more than 20 times. But it is a very well done film. I might see it again at some point. I don't know if I'm even going to own it. But it is very well done. It's definitely worth seeing. So huge thumbs up for me, 8.5 out of 10. Um, and I hope to do, I actually have a lot of videos coming soon. Don't know when each of them are coming, but I have a lot of them planned out and a lot of them that have yet to be posted. Um, I also have, I'm planning on reviewing Star Trek Into Darkness when that comes out. And yeah, there's actually a lot of films coming out this summer I'm going to review. But like I said, guys, Great Gatsby, great film, and I hope to see you here for the next video.